Oh darling, look at that. Lush green rice paddies, volcanoes piercing the sky, beaches that shimmer like 1,000 diamonds. Indonesia, you seductive minx. But while the beauty of this island nation is undeniable, it can get a tad warm, shall we say. Today we're diving into Indonesia's hottest cities, those scorching hotspots where life sizzles at a different pace. So pour yourself something cool and refreshing, sit back, and let this rather divine female voice guide you through the heat, accompanied by some simply fabulous background music. First up, we find ourselves in Banjarmasin, the capital of South Kalimantan. Known as the River City, Banjarmasin experiences a tropical rainforest climate. Now darling, what does that mean, you ask? Well, picture this. Average temperatures hovering around a balmy 27 degrees Celsius. Not too dreadful, you might think. But wait, it's the humidity, sweetie. That's what makes it feel like you're wading through a steamy bowl of soup, even on the most ordinary day. Of course, the record high is a sweltering 37 degrees, but don't faint just yet. The locals, with their infectious smiles and laid-back charm, have adapted to this sultry climate like absolute champs. You'll find them gracefully gliding along the canals in their traditional boats, sipping on refreshing iced tea and generally taking life at a slower, more languid pace. Oh, and the food! Don't even get me started on the food. Spicy, tangy, and oh so delicious, it's enough to make you forget all about the heat. Almost. Next, we're whisked away to Pontianak, the heart of Borneo, straddling the equator like a flamboyant belt. Now, darling, when a city sits on the equator, you know it's going to be a scorcher. And Pontianak certainly doesn't disappoint. Imagine, if you will, temperatures that rarely dip below 27 degrees, even in the dead of night. The humidity, my word, it's like a constant loving embrace from a very warm, very wet Labrador. And just when you think it couldn't possibly get any hotter, bam! The mercury decides to climb even higher, reaching a record high of 39 degrees. But do the ever-so-stylish residents of Pontianak bat an eyelid? Not a chance. They've got it all figured out, darling. From air-conditioned shopping malls to breezy waterfront cafes, they've created their own little havens to escape the heat. And when all else fails, there's always a refreshing dip in the river. Now that's what I call living. From one sizzling city to another, we now find ourselves in Semarang, a captivating blend of history and modernity on the north coast of Java. Semarang's tropical monsoon climate is a fickle beast, darling. One minute you're basking in glorious sunshine, the next you're caught in a torrential downpour. But one thing's for certain, it's always humid. The average temperature here is a rather toasty 28 degrees, but don't let that fool you. It's the humidity, you see, that transforms this city into a sauna on steroids. And when it comes to record highs, Semarang certainly knows how to turn up the heat. A sizzling 39 degrees is the highest ever recorded, making even the most seasoned sunbather break into a sweat. But fear not, my dears, Semarang has a few tricks up its sleeve to combat the heat. From its charming colonial architecture, designed to maximize airflow, to its abundance of shady parks and gardens, there are plenty of places to escape the scorching sun. And of course, no trip to Semarang would be complete without indulging in the local cuisine. Think refreshing salads, spicy soups, and an abundance of fresh fruit. Hold on to your hats, darlings, because we're heading to Makassar, a bustling port city on the island of Sulawesi. Known for its stunning beaches and vibrant culture, Makassar also happens to be one of Indonesia's hottest cities. With a tropical wet and dry climate, Makassar is a city of two halves. From May to October it's dry season, and the heat is, shall we say, intense. We're talking average temperatures of 29 degrees, with the mercury often soaring well into the 30s. And the humidity? Let's just say it's not for the faint of heart. But then, from November to April, the monsoon season arrives, bringing with it torrential downpours and a welcome respite from the heat. But even during the dry season, the people of Makassar know how to keep their cool. They've embraced the heat, darling, made it their own. You'll find them strolling along the beach in the early morning, seeking shade under the palm trees during the hottest part of the day, and enjoying refreshing drinks and snacks from street vendors. And when the sun finally sets, the city comes alive with a vibrant nightlife, as locals and tourists alike gather to celebrate life in this sizzling city. Last but not least, we arrive in Surabaya, Indonesia's second largest city and a true force to be reckoned with. Surabaya is not for the faint of heart, darling. This is a city that embraces its heat with gusto. Situated on the eastern coast of Java, Surabaya boasts a tropical savanna climate, which basically means it's hot, hot, hot pretty much all year round. We're talking average temperatures of 28 degrees, with highs often exceeding 35. And just when you think it can't possibly get any hotter, along comes a heat wave, sending temperatures soaring even higher. The humidity is relentless, like a lovesick octopus clinging to your skin. But do the residents of Surabaya complain? Not a bit of it. They've got this heat thing down to a fine art. From their love of spicy food, which is said to help regulate body temperature, to their penchant for lightweight, breathable clothing, they've adapted to the climate with style and grace. And when the heat gets really intense, well, there's always the air conditioning. Because let's face it, darling, even the most ardent heat enthusiast needs a break sometimes. So there you have it, darlings. A whirlwind tour of Indonesia's hottest cities, from the steamy canals of Banjarmasin to the scorching streets of Surabaya. We've explored their climates, delved into their cultures, and discovered how the locals manage to stay cool in the face of such extreme heat. From embracing traditional ways of life to seeking refuge in modern conveniences, these cities offer a fascinating glimpse into the resilience of the human spirit. Consider these vibrant hotspots for your next adventure or move. Stay cool and explore Indonesia.